Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1. Player 2.
Yeah!
Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories: mythology, states of the Union, fish fry, words, missing body parts, and sports zone. Player 1, where do we start? Some say his 12 labors were penance for killing his wife Megara and their children. Let's hear it, Player 1. Good. You get to pick a... Jupiter is the Roman equivalent of this Greek god. It's Player 1. Good. Player 1.
Yeah!
Answer? The Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. How much? And the Daily Double clue. She was given a box and told not to open it. She did, releasing the world's evil, but shut it before hope could escape. That puts you even further ahead. You again, Player 1. Here's Kelly.
According to Greek myth, this monster depicted here 8 people who could not answer its riddle.
It's Player 1. Good for you. You get to pick again. This Greek sea god could cause springs to flow and create storms with a flourish of his trident. It's Player 1. Yes. Player 1, choose again. Let's go over to Sarah.
This state's flag, featuring the Big Dipper, was designed by a 13-year-old Aleut boy.
Yes, Player 2. Correct. Player 2. With a population of about 120,000, Columbia is this state's most populous city. Yes, Player 1. Good. Player 1. Mississippi and it have the shortest coasts on the Gulf of Mexico, only about 50 miles apiece. It's Player 1. Correct. Player 1. This state has the highest average altitude of any state east of the Mississippi. Must be pretty mountainous. Let's hear it, Player 2. You got it. Player 2. Tears were shed when the Teddy Bear Museum in Naples in this state closed its doors forever in 2005. It's Player 1. Hey, you're right. Where do we begin, Player 1? Fry, meaning young, is often applied to this fish, like the sockeye that returns to spawn where it hatched. It's Player 3. That is correct. Player 3. Males guard the fry of the smallmouth type of this, a sport fishing favorite. Yes, Player 1? Correct. Player 1? The tiger type of this fish can be 1.5 feet long at birth, with dark spots and stripes that fade as it ages. Okay, Player 1? That's correct. You again, player 1. Baby catfish are called sack fry and subsist for 5 days on this, even after they hatch from the egg. Let's hear it, player 3. Right. Player 3. Geographic name for the spotted green type of pike, whose young eat insects before graduating to other fish. Player 2. Good for you. Player 2. You're in command of... If you say, I'm eating a hot dog with this, you could mean a chopped pickle topping or just plain enjoyment. Okay, player 1. Right. Player 1, chat about this in your chat room. Chat is merely a shortened form of this 7-letter word. Player 2. You are correct. A lot of clues. This name for a work of art that you may carve in art class comes from the Latin for to carve. Yes, player 2. That's right. Way to go. Player 2. The name of these small towers often seen on castles comes from the Old French for small towers. Player 1. Good. Okay, let's get back. From the Latin for almost last, it means, next to last. Let's hear it, player 3. Correct. All right, let's get back into this. This assassin's 3rd, 4th, and 5th vertebrae aren't in a Baltimore cemetery. They're at the National Museum of Health and Medicine. Player 2. That's correct. Player 2. An American urologist is said to own a very important part of this French leader who died on May 5th, 1821. Okay, player 3. That's right. Way to go. Player 3. This Lord Protector's body was once buried in Westminster Abbey. It's believed his head is buried in Cambridge. Player 3. Correct. Please pick again. General Lee said, he has lost his left arm, which was buried in Elwood, Virginia, but I have lost my right arm. Player 2. Good. Player 2. P.T. Barnum didn't have this actress's leg to stand on when she refused his $10,000 offer for it. Okay, player 1. That's correct. Player 1, you start us off. When a basketball player goes walking with the ball too long without dribbling, it's called this. Are we there yet? Player 2. That is correct. Player 2. Here's Kelly.
Sluggers try to get backspin on the ball because it makes air move faster over the upper surface, providing this elevating force on the underside.
It's player 3. Good. Player 3. Every spring, the Augusta National Golf Course hosts this famous tournament. Okay, player 3. Yep. You get to pick again. Tony Stewart lives life in the fast lane as one of the big names in this type of auto racing. Yes, player 2. Good. Here's the $1,000 clue for you. In 2004, she became the first soccer player to carry the U.S. flag for the Olympic closing ceremonies. It's player 2. Hey, you're right. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. We start the Double Jeopardy categories with this one. The Arctic Ocean. Language Lab. The Quasi-War with France. Ancient Greek Drama. When they were in high school. And it's a gas. Let's get back into this now. You have control of the board. The shortest way to sail to the Arctic Ocean from Nome, Alaska, is to go north through the strait named for him. Let's hear it, player 1. Correct. Player 1. The spiral tusk of this cetacean that inhabits the waters of the Arctic Ocean may reach a length of 10 feet. Let's hear it, player 2. Yes. Player 2. One of the daily doubles. You are currently in second place. Please enter your wager. Here is your clue. In the early 1770s, England's Samuel Hearne became the first European to reach the Arctic Ocean overland from this bay. You've moved up to first place. You get to pick again. The Arctic Ocean's deepest point, about 17,880 feet, lies just north of this country's Svalbard Islands. Okay, player 1. Right. Okay, let's get back. On August 3rd, 1958, this nuclear-powered submarine became the first to cross the North Pole under the ice. Yes, player 3. That's it. Player 3, start us. Most languages of Western Europe get their words for read and write from this language's leggere and scribere. It's player 1. Yes. Where do we begin? Hochdeutsch is the modern standard form of this language. Okay, player 3. That is correct. Player 3. The pinyin system for writing this language in the English alphabet was officially adopted January 1st, 1979. Okay, player 3. That's correct. We return to you in French. Hier Henri m'aimait, yesterday Henry loved me, is an example of this flawed past tense. Player 1. Right. Player 1. Douglas Hyde, also known as Ancrethan Ethan, fought to preserve this language and founded a league of the same name. Player 1. Good. You again, player 1. On June 21st, 1798, this president told Congress he was going to break off relations with France. Player 2. You are correct. Player 2. Preparations for war included adding ships like the USS Constitution, nicknamed this in the War of 1812. It's player 1. Right. Player 1. USS Constellation beat both La Vengeance and L'Insurgente in this sea, where the U.S. enjoyed a home field edge. Let's hear it, Player 1. That is correct. Player 1. Answer. The other daily double. And you have the lead. How much are you going to wager, Player 1? And the clue. The rally cry of the Americans during the fight was millions for this, but not 1 cent for tribute. That puts you even further ahead. Player 1. In October of 1797, the United States met with agents of France known by these 3 code letters. Player 3. You are correct. Player 3, you start. Judges were chosen by lot for the drama competition known as the Dionysia in this city. Player 1. That's correct. All right, let's get back. According to a play about her by Euripides, this woman did not spend the Trojan War at Troy, but in Egypt. Player 2. Right. A lot of clues, and here's Jimmy.
In The Clouds by Aristophanes, a man desires to send his son to study with this Greek philosopher depicted here.
Let's hear it, Player 2. Yes. Player 2. This title angry wife plots revenge against Jason by killing his new flame with a poisoned garment. Yes, Player 2. Right. You again, Player 2. The 3 parts of this Greek dramatic trilogy are Agamemnon, Coephae, and Eumenides. It's Player 3. Hey, you're right. Player 3, make a selection, please. He ran track at Skyline High in Oakland. Good practice for the role of Forrest Gump. It's Player 2. You are correct. Player 2. As a teen in British Columbia, she said her goal was to be a California beach bum. She got her wish on Baywatch. Let's hear it, Player 3. That is correct. All right, to make extra money, she sometimes cleaned out the tour bus for her mom Naomi and sister Winona. Okay, Player 3. Hey, you're right. You again, Player 3. As a high school basketball star in Irvington, New Jersey, this royal rapper led her team to 2 state championships. Let's hear it, Player 2. Correct. Player 2. He played quarterback for the Terrell High School Tigers before he won an Oscar for playing Ray Charles. It's Player 2. Good for you. Select again. DuPont owns the trademark to this refrigerant gas introduced in the 1930s to replace hazardous substances. It's Player 2. That's right. Way to go. Player 2. It immediately precedes lithium on the periodic table. Yes, Player 3. That is correct. Player 3. The name of this gas comes from the Greek for strange. Player 3. That's correct. Player 3. To make a simple fire extinguisher, put vinegar in baking soda, producing this gas that will put out a flame. Player 2. Right. And the last clue for $2,000. Around 1910, for chemical company BASF, Carl Bosch learned to make quantities of this gas from nitrogen and hydrogen. Let's hear it, Player 3. Good. Congratulations to all of you. You'll be continuing on to Final Jeopardy when we come back. Everything depends on Final Jeopardy, of course, so let's take a look at the category, shall we? Musical theater. You need to select your wager. Our Final Jeopardy clue today is, he's the only songwriter to have Broadway premieres in every decade from the 1950s to the 2000s. His first was in 1957. Let's see your response. With that correct response, you will gain... What did you put as your response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? What did you put as your response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? Congratulations, Player 1. You're the winner. So long.